What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Today I got another chart video for you guys. For those of you that don't know, I've done a couple of chart videos. Data is beautiful. There was another channel that I did. This is a third channel that does chart videos, and the reason I like doing reactions to these is because it's possible that y'all might not have known about this channel. This is the first time I've ever run up on it, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the first, and I'm probably not going to be the last, so I like doing reactions like this so you can go and find the channel and you can check them out and see what other videos they have that you might be interested in. This video is called Top 15 Countries Military Spending from 1830 to 2019. So we get a chance to see how the military budget of each country has been throughout time. You can see how it changes throughout wars and things like that. Obviously America has the highest, but it's kind of weird because there have been countries that have had higher than us, but usually it's around wartime. How it usually works is you have a low budget, a low military budget, and then around the time you go to war, your military budget will skyrocket. And then at the end of war, it goes back down. It's like during World War II, obviously all the countries involved built their military up. And then during the Cold War, America and the Soviet Union were like neck and neck fighting against each other. But it's like after the Cold War ended, America just kind of said, you know what? I think I'll stay. And they just like kept their budget at that level. So it's like, let's check this out and see how history has dealt with military spendings. And I'm curious to see what some countries look like during certain war periods. Let's begin. Oh, before I go, this video was, I don't know if I said this already. This video was created by Latos Charts. I will have a link for their video at the, or link for their channel at the end of this video. And I will have a link for the original video in the description box down below. You want to show them support? Watch the video. You can have it playing in the background while this video is going. Put it on mute. Let it play so they can still get the ad revenue. Whatever way you can show support to them, please do it. With that being said, let's check this out. Okay, so France was really building up back then. You got Russia, United Kingdom, Austria, Hungary. It also has top budget growth in the corners as well, so you get a chance to see during each particular year what country was growing the most. Austria-Hungary kind of exploded right there. So we got France and Russia going neck and neck, which is weird because I thought United. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. My bad. I was about to say, I was wondering, I would assume United Kingdom and France would be going like back and forth, but yeah, I guess they were waiting. Okay, that was the Civil War, so that's why America was spending so much. And because both sides of the Civil War were American, that made our budget even higher. Okay, Germany's starting to go up there. This is around the Industrial Revolution, so every country is pretty much like ballooning their budget to try to modernize their militaries and fix their, well, infrastructure don't really have too much to do with the military spending, unless you're a dictatorship. Yeah, France has been exploding. This would explain why France has the most military battles, for those of you that remember that video that I did. Yeah. For a country that is associated with surrender, all because of one war, they have been the ones that have took the most bodies. Or taken the most bodies. I'm sorry for you grammar people out there. Germany's number one again. I wish what they would have done when they did this was the flag icons in the corner. I wish they had the flag icon for the country that was, or the flag of the country at that time, because that way you can kind of get an idea of like what regiment was in charge, what the history of the flag was, and things like that. I think that would have been pretty cool. Japan is really starting to explode. They did for a minute. Okay, exploded again. There was another war around that time. What was it? I'm pretty sure Theodore Roosevelt had something to do with it. It was the same war that involved the Rough Riders. Was it a war in Cuba? I forgot. It was one of those Latin countries. All right, we're about to get into World War I. When everybody's budget just explodes. The United Kingdom was really spending during World War I, and we just came in. Well, damn. Didn't realize we spent that much. All right. Okay, Germany. We're in the Great Depression now. So I would imagine everybody, well, except Russia, apparently. I would assume everybody's budget would have failed, but not Russia. Not Russia. This is around, well, not around. This is well after the Russian Revolution. All right, Germany's about to kick it up. This is around the time Hitler comes into power. Now we are entering World War II. Russia is out, or Germany's outspending everybody. Great Britain is not about to take that shit lying down. United States is coming in. They have taken over Germany as far as military spending. Japan. I'm surprised Japan was that low. I thought Japan, especially considering that around this time was when, not this time, but about a decade earlier, was really when Japan was like expanding their military and doing all of their campaigns and things like that. I would have imagined that their military would have exploded. It wasn't as high as I thought it was going to be. Now we are in the Cold War. Russia and the United States. And China's going to start to modernize itself soon too. North Korea. And by North Korea. Okay, so they have West and East Germany separated. So it looks like, at least in that regard, they did stick to the history of the country. Back when Czechoslovakia existed. Russia and the United States are still going back and forth. I imagine that Russia's going to really fall right around 1990 when the Soviet Union crashed. China's fallen quite a bit. I wonder, well, I was about to say I wonder what happened in China, but chances are they aren't going to war with anybody, so that's probably why their budget fell so low. Like I said, most countries, when their budget hits, when they're not going to war, they kind of just relax. That money's better spent elsewhere. Except the United States. We said screw it. And fuck it, just spend it all. We have the money, we're going to use it, goddammit. And it's going to explode even further with multiple military spending expansions that we've gotten throughout the years. Right now, I think we're up to almost, well, if not more than $700 billion a year for military. Yeah, like our military budget has doubled, and we're not really, like, there is no world wars going on. We've doubled our military spending. China is really starting to build up. They're coming up there. Looks like we might be headed towards a second Cold War between the United States and China. Except the only difference is, instead of it being war related, it's economic related. Now, obviously, when it comes to politics in America, it really depends. Conservatives tend to be more in line with using, like, building the military budget and things like that. Most of it, I believe, is just pandering. Like, they do that because that's their way of saying, hey, we like the military, we support our troops and support our men and women in the military, and and it's like, we're already giving the military so much money that they're pretty much just like spending it on stuff that they never intend on using. Like, that's how, like, their budget is so big that they have to spend it just for the sake of spending it. Like, in order to keep, well, I don't know if in order to keep getting the budget, but if we discover that they aren't spending hundreds of billions of dollars, chances are they could lose it. So you just keep spending until the money's gone. But if we cut that budget down a ton, it would not have any impact on our military at all. But some people don't think that. Some people don't really understand how the military budget works. They just think that you just give the military as much money as you can and it makes your military that much stronger. And it's like, no, not really. But with that being said, military budget, yeah. Obviously, Europe was really knocking it out of the park in the 1800s because that was around the time of imperialization and things like that. Usually the imperialistic countries were probably building the most because they were invading the most countries and thus fighting the most. So it made sense. And then they started to die down after World War II, besides United States and Russia. Like I said, it made sense. We were technically at war, at least always in a constant state of ready to go to war. And after the Soviet Union fell, the United States should have cut back on their budget, or at least kept it at that level. $300 billion a year is still a lot of money, still enough to maintain the strongest military in the world. But at the same time, the fact that we doubled it within like 20 years and we're fighting nowhere near as much. I mean, not necessarily proxy wars. Now it's more so of a military, not military, but a war industry, a war. It's like a war market. We go out and we just like, we support this war economy where you have all these contractors and mercenaries and things like that you just spend a ton of money on. And it's like, we treat it like it's a market in and of itself. And yeah, obviously in any type of market or business, their biggest priority is to maximize profits. They don't care about trying to prevent wars. They don't care about trying to like stop casualties or make sure there's no civilians harmed in any type of conflicts. They just care about selling weapons. And the more the United States is at war with somebody or attacking somebody, the more weapons they sell. So you have a lot of lobbyists in Congress and in politics that will try to lobby to get politicians to do these unnecessary things in other countries, all for the sake of selling weapons and things like that. So you got this entire entire war complex that just it's like that. It's feeding itself. It goes to war so it can spend money on weapons, just so they can go to war and spend money on more weapons. But whatever. Hopefully somebody will come in that will check the budget a bit, because like I said, that money could be spent in other areas, like way better than just going to the military. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe we should maintain the military. Obviously, we should make sure that it's properly funded, but you don't have to overspend on it. Like, if you're creating a budget at your house, and let's say your food budget is about, what, maybe $400 a month. If you all of a sudden adjust your budget so that you're spending $6,000 a month on food, you're probably only gonna be able to eat so much. So it's like you got all this food that you're spending money on. The food you're not eating, it's going to go bad. You're buying $6,000 worth of food every month. It has nothing to do with your well-being. You're going to have to throw all that stuff out, and that's kind of what the military is at. It's like we put all this money into it. They buy all these weapons. You're going to end up losing the weapons because all that money is going to be spent in is like either maintaining the weapons or using them. And it's like if you're maintaining them, they're just sitting around just never being used until they eventually become obsolete and you end up buying the newest version of whatever else comes out. But with that being said, that's my opinion on it. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Like I said, I encourage debates, so go in the comment section and let people know what you think. With that being said, hopefully you've just been a little more enlightened. I'm going to give you the deuces, and I look forward to seeing you guys in a future video. If you want to check out this channel, like I said, there's a link that's going to pop up the last 30 seconds. I'm sure they got a ton of other charts and stuff. I will check their channel out and watch some of their other videos. Not react to, but watch. And hopefully you guys will do the same. I'm going to give you the deuces, and I look forward to seeing you guys in a future video. Deuces.